Good afternoon. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Athens in Motion Education and Communications Subcommittee. Today is August 9th, and Daniel, if you'll share the agenda, that would be awesome.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Yes.
Did you say?
I can't see it. Can anyone else see it?
It's showing up on mine.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay,
Okay.
this is weird. All right, well, anyway.
Well, this is the welcome portion. I will narrate what's on the screen.
I'm going to just find it.
So I guess, do we have minutes to approve from last week
Oh, that's a really
or last month?
good question. So let me go on to my drive.
All right, I'm going to try stop sharing and then reshare.
Okay.
It's back up on my screen.
All right. Can you see it now, Teresa?
I cannot. I can see all of your beautiful faces. So, you know, I'm gonna sign out and sign in on my other computer with my earphones. Maybe that'll work. So.
I can just narrate what's on the screen. And then, yeah, so I guess, we've got the agenda here. It's, there's a Athens in Motion brochure draft review for 15 minutes, social media post discussion for 20 minutes, learning demo for 20 minutes, tabling events for 10, and logo updates for 10 minutes. So, but before we get into all that, I wanted to let everyone introduce themselves. We got some new faces. And so, yeah, on my screen, Dale, you're next. So,
Okay, very good. Good afternoon. I'm Dale Van Canford. I'm a member of the Oconee River Greenway Commission, and I'm their representative on Athens in Motion, and I'm now serving on this committee.
and you want to talk about your background some, or?
Background, coming up close to the conclusion of a second career. My first career, my wife and I owned and operated small market radio stations in Georgia and South Carolina for 25 years, from 1975 to 1999. Then I went to Grady here at UGA for 3 years as a visiting instructor and earned my PhD in mass communications, and then went up to Piedmont University in Demorest. I'd helped them set up a mass comm program there, and I'm finished my 20th year there at Piedmont.
Awesome. All right, Teresa, you want to go next?
Sure. Teresa Friedlander. I am vice chair of Athens in Motion and chair of this little subcommittee. And I've been with Athens in Motion since its inception in 2019, I believe it was. And I just got reappointed for another 5 years. So Daniel, you haven't gotten rid of me yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so we're doing some exciting things with communications, and so we'll get into some of that in a little bit.
Awesome. Mark?
Yeah, hey, thanks for sending me the invite for this. My name is Mark Beatty. I'm the planner for the director of the Planning and Government Services Department at the Northeast Georgia Regional Commission. I'm from Macon, Georgia. I moved up to Athens in about 2014, 2015. Went to graduate school at UGA and got my master's degree in planning and urban design. And my wife and I liked it here, so we decided to stay. So I've been here at the Regional Commission ever since, and just recently took over as director of the planning department.
Awesome. And thanks for coming on. Donna?
My name is Donna Fee, and I grew up here in Athens and went to UGA, was an English major, and spent hours and hours at Park Hall, if y'all are familiar with that building, and now I'm a director of content partnerships. I am a founder of, it's a small micro learning platform. So I'm here, Daniel invited me just to see if we have something that we can offer you that would help with outreach, community engagement. And the short version is this micro learning. So it's 30-second videos. And hopefully 2 of my team members are going to come aboard at 4:30. They're more technical than I am. We'll do a quick demo. You can ask questions, and then I'd love to stay for the meeting if I can, it's my hometown. I like to learn as much as I can about it. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. And Randy?
Yes, Randy Halstead, also Athens in Motion on the commission. Like Teresa, recently reappointed. I am retired from the vaccine industry, worked there 34 years in production and technical support. Avid cyclist, and looking to better communicate what we do in Athens in Motion, and keep forwarding the progress of the organization.
Awesome. And Scott?
Hi, everybody. My name is Scott Long. I'm the executive director for Bike Athens. We are a nonprofit organization here in Athens, working for equity and transportation through advocacy, education, and service. I got my master's at UGA in public administration, and I am a certified league cycling instructor.
Awesome. So yeah, and our first item on this agenda is the AIM brochure draft review. So
Let me see if I can share. See if
Okay.
my software has at least given me that capability. It's looking like it's not, which is, oh wait, super fun here. Okay, so
let me see. In the
point.
meantime, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
Okay, you know what, Daniel, if you don't mind sharing the brochure that I stuck out on the Google Drive, I sent you the link. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to upgrade my computer and it'll actually do the things I need it to do.
Yeah. So, all right. This is like a very first draft.
Yeah.
It looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Be in education and communications, but I did send you the link, so
yeah,
hopefully
is
it'll
this,
work.
can you see the screen? Or probably not, right?
No, but I can find my own
Okay.
document.
So the goal here is basically she's putting together some information that we could potentially package and design into more of a brochure type thing. I think this is maybe one of the templates for our flyer about like specific projects. So
Yes.
we might reformat and make it a little more, package it up, friendlier. But
Okay. So for those of you who can see it, I used one of our recently designed templates, and it seems to be in sort of a PowerPoint type platform, to the best of my ability to tell. And I think ideally, if we're doing a two-sided page with a fold over, we would need to reformat this somehow. But, I don't know what's the most useful format, and I hope Scott has some opinions on that. But basically, it's, who we are. And, I just borrowed the text from, all of our materials that we've already developed and what we do, and then a little bit about why we're doing it. Unfortunately, I can't even see my own screen in this computer. Let me see if I can zoom it in. Okay. I'm such a failure with technology today. Who we are, we're a 9-member advisory board appointed by mayor and commission to improve bike and pedestrian infrastructure and safety in Athens, and to encourage more people to walk and ride their bicycles. What we do: oversee implementation of the Athens in Motion bicycle and pedestrian master plan by advocating for projects in areas of greatest needs, reviewing projects for funding priority, participating in walk audits of project sites, advising mayor and commission about alternatives for construction design and funding, and seeking funding sources for specific projects. And why are we doing this? Healthy, vibrant cities, well, promote, not have promote, promote walking and bicycling for commuting to work, running errands, visiting friends, and seeing the sights. Athens-Clarke County is committed to supporting a network of connected sidewalks and bike lanes. Okay, so then we have an Athens in Motion, contact us, need to fill in the blanks there. It would be nice to have some photos and graphics where you see I put add photos and graphics here, and then get involved. So I wanted to make sure this flyer doesn't need to be reprinted every time something changes, because things change all the time. So I'm hoping that if we can put the links and QR codes for the links on the brochure, that will, kind of last forever. So we've got live streamed meetings. We may go back to in-person meetings, in which case we need to add that information here. To review the plan, we just send people over to the master plan document itself, then get to know the commission. It lists everybody who's on it and their terms. Okay, then on the next page, this is super sketchy, but for active projects, there's currently a link on the ACC.gov website that shows the projects that we have currently underway, and it has links to more data about those projects. I know we've got an interactive map somewhere out there. And then I thought it might be nice to have like some information about what you're doing in Bike Athens, if that's useful to you, Scott. And then at the bottom backside, put in an overview map of the network kind of at the corridor level, just to kind of show the full extent of the network once it's all kind of in place. And, I don't have great graphic design skills. In fact, I have none. So, this is an area where we can use some help from somebody who does have those skills. So that's basically where we are with the draft of the flyer. So what do you think, Scott?
Like Daniel mentioned, I think this is the wrong template for a brochure. But all that aside, I'm trying to figure out like who's the person that is interested in having this information in their hand. What are they looking for when I say, do you know about Athens in Motion, when they're talking about poor infrastructure that we have in town that doesn't connect? And I could, trying to let them know about Athens in Motion as a solution that the y'all in the county are working on to make Athens better. I would rather see like, this doesn't have to be the one brochure. I would like to see something that says, in 2022, these are the projects that we have in that are happening, whether it's Barber Street, Riverbend Road, Cherokee, those big things, those are big things. And to be able to hand somebody that and say, look, this is concrete, this is happening, this is what they're working on right now, these are the ways you can get involved. Or in addition to that, like, and let's say I get some academic kind of person who wants to get involved, but they really are really good at grant writing. Like, I could be able to point to this and say, look, see, there's an opportunity here where you could get involved with grants to help us fund all these amazing projects that they're working on. Finding ways that community that isn't on the commission to get involved and help y'all get these things done.
Okay, that's great. So we need to say these are skill sets that we can use on, for the commission's work. And if you want to help with that, you're invited to get in touch.
Right. I mean, like if somebody's asking me about, our trail network or how to get around or where we're not riding around cars, I'm handing them the Greenway brochure because that has all that relevant information. Athens in Motion is a little bit different in that it's not as concrete to people.
Right.
So it's like, what are the concrete things the actual infrastructure, the projects that are important that y'all need either input or maybe just another set of eyes on a grant that you're working on. Those might be opportunities where this would be useful.
Okay, so it's, I mean, it's sounding to me like you'd rather have a new flyer every so often, depending on what is going on with Athens in Motion.
Yeah, I think the Greenway does theirs like every 2 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that y'all need to print nearly as many as the Greenway does.
Right.
So that makes a little more sense with terms of flexibility and updating these things.
Mm-hmm.
But something that is like, what are the big things that y'all have done in the last 12 to 18 months?
Okay.
What do you want to communicate to people? That's what this is for.
Okay. Okay. So what are the big accomplishments? So, we've got those like 5 or 7 projects that are currently well along in their life cycle. And then do we want to talk about the T-SPLOS projects that have been funded? Do we want to say something about that? Or do we want to just stick with what is happening right now? I mean, I'd like to tell people where they can ride from and to.
I think there's a whole list of goals that are in the plan, and I think educating people on those goals is important. I don't think it's a good idea to have so many links and references, because if any of them change or move, like really, we just need one QR code to take you to the Athens in Motion page, and then that page should link out to these other resources, like the live stream meetings. Like it might be that we're not doing a 4th Tuesday 1 month and we schedule it for the last Tuesday, like we're probably going to end up having to do in September, because or in August, actually, I'm going to be at a conference on the 4th Tuesday, so we're going to do the 5th Tuesday. So just those types of things, it's best to just kind of have one link for that, and that contact info can also be on that page as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I would second the link thing. Like if you just put a link tree link that is static and doesn't change, and it takes you to a menu that is constantly changing, then you're really giving people up-to-date information, and you never have to update your flyer.
Right.
Yeah, and we can generate QR codes for ACC. I can get permission from the public info office, but we can generate a QR code that could be reassigned. So like if the page does change or a better one gets created and you want to link to the new page, then you can do that, and it's just reassign that QR code.
Right.
So we don't want to write out the link. That's usually not recommended either.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of throw the general ideas out there and let people, throw tomatoes at it and, put sticky notes on it and stuff. So, okay.
I'm kind of also curious to see if anybody else has any ideas of like what they feel like would be needed out of a brochure or flyer. And it makes sense that with Greenway you want to see the trail network, and it would be great to have a bike network map if we had a bike network that was complete, but we're not quite there yet. There's a lot of improvement to do, so it's kind of like, what is the ultimate goal? What do y'all think we should really be focusing on with this?
Well, could we do some sort of just a graphic conceptual map that would just, kind of show the corridors and say, our vision is that you can walk or bike from any point A to any point B in Athens-Clarke County, or walk, bike, and take transit, or whatever, however we want to say this. But the idea being that you don't need to have a car to get from any point A to any point B once we've built out the network.
Yeah. Do we have any other ideas? All right.
Scott, would you have some time to just kind of meet in person and talk about some of these things? Because I find it really hard to, kind of put meat on the bones here, if you will, without, sitting down with someone and, going online and looking at some stuff and saying, well, we could put that there, just, you know what I'm saying? And I think it would help me to do this better.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly do that. I'm usually available Monday through Friday during the week, 11 to 5. If you want to schedule a meeting with me, we can at least sort of get some other concepts of things that the commission might want to include in
Yeah.
some materials like this. Whether or not it's, figured out all the details or not, that
Right.
doesn't.
Because I feel like you're sort of our main customer here. And so, this should be something that you can hand out that is useful to you and not just, a stack of paper that, you don't pay any attention to.
And I do have stacks of paper that I don't pay attention to. It's really a matter of what is the person asking me about in terms of transportation and where they should be riding, or things that they can get involved with or excited about giving input on, that are happening around town. I want to make it as easy as possible. If it just happens to be scan that QR code on my wall, that'll take you to the Athens in Motion list of links and things. That could be enough.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just talk first about the questions that people ask you? Let's just, list them out and figure out, how to succinctly answer them or provide a link so they can get the answer. And if it's just a link to an AIM web page, that we're going to make more beautiful at some point, then that's fine. Right now we have a lot of information, but we don't have it connected together in a way that's visually pleasing and, kind of user friendly, to use a cliche.
Well, and it's giving a lot of different information, but it's kind of like what Scott said with what is the information that's really needing to be known. So I like the idea of just if you have a card with a QR code on it, and you can really go to that, and then that really refocuses your efforts from doing a brochure type thing to more of like, let's design out our web presence and go
Maybe
from
that's
there.
what we need to be doing and not bothering with a brochure.
Yeah, that might be a good.
Okay. I mean, I prefer that approach myself anyway, because, that way it's pretty simple for Scott, just aim at that QR code right there. And that'll take you to the website where you have all the information that's available online. Plus you'll have the link to contact someone who can, speak to you or write you an email or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
All right.
so rather than brochure, we'll do QR code and website.
And yeah, and just so you know, Teresa, I have the agenda pulled up now. So when you're ready to move on to the next item,
Let me see if I can find.
it's the social media posts. We have 20 minutes set aside for this. I don't think we need a full 20 minutes, and I think we're a little over on time.
Yeah.
Right now. So
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about social media then, shall we?
all right. I do have something I want to talk about with this. So you all know about the 3-laning proposal for Prince Avenue, hopefully by now. And we're going to be 3-laning from Pulaski to Millage and adding in bike lanes. So 3-laning is where you take 4 lanes of traffic, 2 going each way, and narrow it down to 3. It's 1 lane going each way with a center turn lane. And so with that, we are working on the public engagement plan, which is really comprehensive, and we're trying to really get out ahead of it this time. And we're working on that with Tool Design Group, and it should be getting installed mid-September. There's some patching of the roadway itself that will need to be done first. So you might start seeing work sooner than that, but really it's, patching the road where there are some issues, and then striping comes in, and the barriers and stuff that we're installing. With that, as part of the social media engagement strategy for that, they're utilizing the Athens in Motion social engagement strategy that they built for you guys. And some of those things, they're outlining some opportunities for engagement from the Athens in Motion Commission in terms of, y'all could send this type of post on this day and this type of post on this day, or you could organize these types of things or promote these types of things that other groups might be organizing. I know Scott has some things that he's putting together. You can talk more about that, Scott, but this pilot project is a 60-day pilot project from mid-September to basically mid-November, and there's going to be a lot of public engagement around that. So I think a lot of our social media posts in the next 2 months will probably be focused on that, if that's something that you want to try to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Bike Athens is working on sort of trying, because 60 days is not a long time for something as big and important as this. So we are going to be trying to plan little pop-up events where I know there's going to be important dates that the counts are going to, the data collection is going to be more important than others. We want to get people out riding those bike lanes, maybe incentivizing, giving them like a Wendy's Frosty or something if they do a certain number of laps. Just trying to get the public out there and aware that this is happening, and that if they want to keep it, they should get out there and ride it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have 60 days. We're going to try and come up with a calendar of events in the next couple of weeks. We got a little bit of time. And
we can do social media posts to say, come out to Prince Avenue for, Frosties, or
we'll likely be either posting the whole calendar at once, or just posting the events as they come up on the calendar. And y'all, I would love for y'all to share that sort of stuff, so that we can get that in front of your audience.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other things that we can share too, we're going to have in-person public engagement meetings. We're going to have some virtual presentations. There's going to be story map, so just like sending out a link to get information out to people. I think that kind of stuff is going to be really important as well.
Hey Scott, can you share that with me too? I'll post that on our Instagram account for you.
Sure. As soon as I figure it out, I'll do that.
Cool, thanks.
Will either end of this pilot program tie into an existing bike lane system, or is it strictly an island out there by itself?
So technically, it does tie into the Pulaski Street bike lanes, which then in turn ties into Hancock. Millage is heavily used by bikes, and Prince Avenue is heavily used by bikes, but both of those approaches do not currently have bike facilities. So unfortunately, the most dangerous or uncomfortable area to ride on Prince is not within this area, but it will ultimately, like, the goal of this project is not necessarily just to create bike lanes. It's really more about slowing down the speed of the cars, so people aren't zipping in and out of traffic. It's really to try to create a safer environment for pedestrians and cyclists and those vulnerable road users.
Daniel, does this would this connect with the Barber Street project?
Yes, the Barber Street is project would come into this corridor, but right now the Barber Street project is we're hoping to get the concept approval by the end of this year, calendar year, but it will not be, there won't be anything on Barber Street while the pilot is in.
Right. But conceivably in the future, if this 3-laning on Prince Avenue is successful, and most people don't hate it, then the Barber Street infrastructure that we're trying to get funded and built would connect in there. So that would be really good.
Yeah. All right. Any other talk about social media posts? Any things that are coming up on the radar from any GRC or Greenway or Bike Athens that you think would be good to share on our social media account?
I can't think of anything that would be good to share on your social media. We have several things going on, like on the boundaries of Athens-Clarke County, but nothing that's like, at shareable status yet.
Cool.
I think though, in general, we should be putting updates on the projects that are existing and ongoing. It's like when we get our monthly update from Todd or whoever is giving updates from the county, so that the public knows, at least the ones that are coming for information from us, where the projects stand. Should they be happy with it or upset or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I do get a lot of questions about, hey, when is that bridge going to be done?
Exactly.
That's like one of our most common questions. So that might be a good idea. Maybe we can talk with Todd about, there would need to be some sort of info that basically states like, this is a tentative date, because you never know when a delay might happen in a project, but yeah. Cool.
I just thought of something, also not shareable, but just it'd probably be good for you all to know. Winterville, we've been working with them on a complete streets and trails master plan for a little while now, most of this past year, and so it's finally at like final draft, final draft format. So we're hoping that they're going to adopt that at their September council meeting, and it aligns with the Athens motion plan where it needs to. It's got the Robert Hardiman multi-use path and the Cherokee Road multi-use path shown on there with the portions of the Firefly Trail that aren't built out yet. So I think that's like the first or second week of September that we're hoping they adopt that. So we just recently did a public engagement session, and there were some things that had some comments about. So we kind of tweaked some details, and yeah, just so everybody knows.
So Mark, do you live in Winterville?
No, I live on the east side in Athens.
Okay, I know, Randy, you live in Winterville, and I'm sure you're familiar with the complete streets that Winterville is working on right now. And I read it, I thought it was great. It reminds me more of our Athens in Motion plan than the Athens-Clarke Complete Streets policy.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with
that
you
on
there.
purpose.
Absolutely.
what's
Yeah.
that?
I did that on purpose.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I just thought it was interesting to see that complete streets policy looked like more of a plan than a policy per se. But now Athens-Clarke County, which does include Winterville, has a complete streets policy. So I assume that applies to Winterville as well.
If it's work that Athens-Clarke County is doing on Winterville, then yes, because the policy is for ACC staff. We're not imposing that on other like developers or municipalities. It's just when we have projects that might be T-SPLOST funded, for instance, that are taking place within Winterville boundaries, then yes, we would follow our complete streets policy for that. And that's kind of where we're at currently on that policy. There's also an annual, sorry, my dog wanted to sit in my lap. There's also an annual update to that policy that we could explore, future stuff. And also it's just helpful to have the policy to reference as we develop other policies and ordinances that could potentially reference this one and apply it towards other uses. So.
Right. But anyway, all right.
Thanks for that info, Mark. All right, next on here is the Learning demo. So Donna, I will let you take that away.
All right. Do you have anybody waiting to get in case, I don't know if the link worked. I've got two colleagues. I mean, I can do it by myself, but
no, hey Donna, we're here. Pete and I both are here. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't talk smack about you.
Got your back.
To hear me.
We got your back. Excellent. Well, I don't know,
I can't
Donna.
see you. That's why I didn't know.
No worries. Do you want to
Oh.
give the intro and then we could dive in and do a quick demo and answer any
Sure.
questions anybody's got?
Well, the voice you're hearing is Bill, and he's the one that built the entire platform. He's got 30 years in L&D experience, so I'd be surprised if I'll have a question he can't cover. Pete is our CEO, and he does everything else that Bill can't handle on his own. So, and I'm just here.
I'm a ex Athens resident, although I'm over in Atlanta now. So, as many of us must be to make a living.
So basically what it is it's a micro learning platform. So we do 30-second videos. So all the things you all were talking about, like the brochure and the QR codes, you can have a private community and all your videos and collateral you could put in there, and you can embed it into your social media. You can go and run bike trails. You could put a QR code on one of your signs, and there could be you guys or community members posting videos about their time on the trails, that sort of thing. And as a private community, you control the content. So if you wanted, the number one way to change hearts and minds is not by telling people, but by showing them. So one thing I did read in your master plan is that you got a statistic, 70% of people are interested in cycling, but they have concerns. So showing them more stuff could reduce that number and get more of them on the road. So that is what I think that we can do for you guys. All right, Bill, it's all you.
All right, let me see if I can do oh, wait 1 second. I have to, this is a new computer. Give me 2 seconds. That may make me quit and reopen. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, while it goes, I'll tell you a little bit about one of our current customers, Amy Copeland. I don't know if you guys remember who Amy Copeland is. The Amy Copeland Foundation was she built that foundation. She was the young lady about 7 years ago that was zip lining, fell into I think what's the creek over here? Anyway, she fell in the creek, got a flesh-eating virus, lost both arms and both legs, and she's using Learny to train people on how to use these off-road wheelchairs, because she raised a bunch of money and bought like 15 off-road wheelchairs and put them in state parks all around Georgia. And so they're using Learny to train people. And then the next step of that is they're going to actually take Learny on the trails and map out trails on using these off-road wheelchairs. So it's a great use case that maybe it's not exactly similar to what you guys are doing, but I was filling in time for you, Bill.
Great, thanks. I'm back, and what I'm doing is I'm going to show you the mobile version first, because it is the well, I'll probably only show you the mobile version. Can everybody see my phone?
Yes.
No.
Okay, cool. So just to kind of carry on a little bit from what Donna was saying,
Teresa,
is that
you can't see Bill's phone.
No. No, I'm going to try to log in with my other computer.
Yeah, we can all see it though. It's just an issue with her her computer. So
Me too, Teresa. So you're not alone, sweetie. I'm with
I
you.
know.
But-
I was so glad. I was so glad that that it's Bill, right? Who's having
It
the
is.
conference? Oh, Bill, thank you for that. All right.
So
You carry on, and I'll try to tune in.
all right. So one of the things that we wanted to build, and what you're seeing here is the mobile app. It is the we are a mobile first, so we've kind of got a mobile. The application was first built as a mobile device, and then now it also has a web version as well. But what you have to think about it in the context of having a multitude of channels. So there's a public kind of side, like a public channel, or so to speak, or what we call a community, or all of these other private communities. And so I'm going to show you some learnies, and what we call a learny that actually would be around biking and stuff. And just so introduction, as Donna said, I've spent my career learning technologies. I also live in Park City, Utah, and an avid mountain biker. So I ride the trails every day in the summertime. So love the whole initiative here, and do everything I can to help as many people as possible get on bikes. So, but the app itself is, intended to be able to create learning as easy as TikTok. So what you're looking at here is our health community, and there's a bunch of stuff out there about yoga, about all kinds of stuff. I'm actually going to flip to a bike one to show you in a second, but this upper left button is how you can flip around, and this is that alter all-terrain Georgia, he was talking about people learning how to use these all-terrain wheelchairs. But I'm going to show you what it looks like when I just type in. I've got a couple courses on bikes up here, and I'll show you the private, secure, branded sections in a second. But a Learny itself is a container with an unlimited number of learning bursts up to. And we're trying to create community, not only at this big community level, but also under each piece of disparate learning. So I'll show you how that happens. But there's a lot of social stuff like Donna was talking. You can have QR codes, you can have chats, video chats, as well as individual chats. You can easily share a Learny. And if it's in a private community, only people that are part of that community, it can also be public communities, people can join. In the lower left, what you see here is the number of bursts. So when we say 30 seconds, obviously there's only so much content that can be communicated in a 30-second video burst. So what we do is Lego these things together with cognitive breaks. Will allow people to answer multiple choice questions, true, true, false, get links to other content. Like if you've got other material you want people to read, they can hop out and read that and then continue on with the course. So I'm going to show you some examples of that, but let's play this one just so you can see what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, the way WebEx works, you're not hearing me talk, but I'm actually cleaning my chain. But the reason I want to show you one thing here about the kinds of questions. This is showing you a dirty chain and how to fix it. But you can really put this anything. It could be like, hey, this is what's specific between these trails. This is how to access a trail, the rules of the road. Uphill traffic has gets right away. But what I wanted to show you here is here's an example of a link where we've embedded a web link to basically open up where people could actually buy Simple Green to be able to, do their, basically.
So if you had an affiliate agreement with like vendors that were selling stuff, you could use that to drive traffic to their site, for instance. I don't know if you guys are doing any of that kind of thing, but.
Right. So anyway, that's example of one course about bikes. I think there's some other ones here, which is, I've got a fat biking here. We do a lot of other stuff. I'm just like skimming over the top. For instance, we integrate with a whole skills database. So you can go explore the skills. Like if I take this piece of content, I'm going to gain a skill around outdoor education, and I can actually pull into the app. I don't know why it's taking so long here, but it pulls in all this data about the skills, which may be because of my internet. My kids are home, so sorry about that, but should be bringing that in. But anyway, it's probably just a delay on the web service call pulling all the data in, but it brings in all the skill data as well. So really simply, it's the key is that it's a mobile first TikTok kind of product with a lot of controls and levers around it so that you can have, so for instance, if you have your own private community, you can turn on the approval process. If you wanted one that was only created by you, that's fine. You could also have one that's created by your entire community. So people could be, it's so easy. I'm about to show you my next trick here is to show you how easy it is to create a Learny. And you could have your community create Learnies and you approve them, right? So somebody just gave you a trail report from, Trail X, and then it goes into the community and gets there's, approval. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to do bike example, whatever. You don't even have to fill this out. I'm going to pick a course or I'm going to do a search here. So this is a biking. And then I immediately go into creating the video content. Okay. Like I said, this should be so easy that it actually makes it for disposable learning so that you could make it that quick. And honestly, I don't know. It's like the demo. I don't know why that one didn't load, but so this is here. I'm just making a quick one. I'm going to make a let's say I'm actually going to record in app, and let's say I was going to talk about this orange. Here's, trail, or here's this, stuff to clean my chain. And then what happens is I get put into this screen, and I can actually go in and edit the video just like you would a TikTok, add filters, add some text, and I'll show you how that works. But down below are the cognitive breaks. I can add in a link, have a question, a pause, put in multiple choice questions, and a poll. So I'm going to show you what it looks like in just a second. You've already seen what the link looks like, but let me show you what this looks like. Out. And then let's say I want to do this. Let's say that I've got a bike fix, and I want to point something at, I'm fixing a bike. All of those things are like possible, to add to the video. And then I can go in and put my multiple choice question. And I'm just going to say, yes, yes, no. And then that's saved. And down below, what you'll see is the video will start stacking up. And as many of these as I create, it will, and I can delete them and recreate them and all that, but it really should be that easy to create learning that you don't even need to do that, right? You can always edit the name. You can always make changes to it. You can embed this like a YouTube embed code. So you can take a learning and put it into your main website or whatever. And people will, when they finish that, they'll put in their email and a name, and they'll get a transcript generated and sent to them. So if you want people to come for a group ride and you want everybody to take, hey, we're going to have to make sure that you check your helmet. Do you have your, some water? Do you have all those things you need to be safe on this group ride? You send this out, or, the link to it in an embedded or in this way. And then you can get a transcript of people have actually watched the video and watched the content. You can get a record that they've actually done that before they go on the group ride. You can get the content out of the system by creating MP4. You can always link to stuff, and like Donna said, you can always get that group, the QR code, and then you get to decide which community. And I'll just give you this one example. If I click on the health community, it's got approval process set up, so the community owner will get a notice that says, hey, this has been sent for approval. So look, that's just, and then the last thing I'll show you is the employee experience, or not employee, sorry, the member experience. I'm talking to a lot of companies right now that are looking at buying learning. But the employee experience, or the member experience, is such that they get to see everything they've ever taken. They can go in and see the transcript that they got from completing this course, this learning, and they can always jump back in it and take it again, right? And that's the approval request that I had sent a little bit earlier. So there's a lot to show you above and beyond the mobile app, with controls and levers for your own community. But it's a little bit overwhelming because we have analytics, we have reporting on who's finished what, and then all the controls about who can create content and who can't, and all of that. But I want to stop there and just answer any questions anybody has before I, because like Donna and Pete know, I'll go off into a spiral and keep demoing for hours, and people be like, no, just stop, please. So does anybody have any questions?
I think it's a pretty cool looking product. So I'd be interested to know if it's something that Scott could take advantage of.
Like the platform itself?
Yeah, or just creating little movies to teach people stuff or inform people about things. Or if you would tell us, I need a little 30-second video on X, could you put that together?
I mean, video content generally takes a lot of time to create, especially if you're creating unique content. Mm-hmm. In terms of like, for my use and the things that we do in terms of like bike repair, bike maintenance, how to ride a bike, there's tons of that stuff all over the internet. I would just be recreating the wheel with a very local voice here in Athens. the content you could get elsewhere. Park Tool makes amazing bike stuff. I don't feel like I need to do that. I don't know visually what videos do for Athens in Motion. I mean, if you could see projects moving forward, that makes sense to, like, you know, check in with the Athens in Motion learnees, see about the bridge on Tallahassee, see where the projects are. Here's an update. You know, you could take a quiz to say that you understood what what the challenges are and what's coming up ahead. But I don't know who the audience is that's looking for that currently.
Yeah, what about you, Daniel? Do you see an application where this could be helpful to us? I mean, I'm thinking of all kinds of cool things we could do, but I mean, you know, we have to be kind of practical here about what we're spending money on.
Well,
Does this cost money?
Yeah,
is this does this cost money? I don't think.
Well, there's two ways that our customers engage, and we have customers and partners. Well, we actually have three ways. We actually give our product away to nonprofits who are deserving nonprofits that are trying to train, something like the Amy Copeland Foundation. Then we have about 60 or so partners that are using this to generate revenue. So they build a private community with learning in it, and then there's a paywall, and that's free to the partner. And then we do a revenue split. So let's say it's a $5 a month subscription to, you know, Bike Atlanta or Bike Athens, you know, and they come in and we do a rev split on those monies, and you would create whatever content it is. And we have, like I said, we have a number of customers doing that. And then the third model is what Bill alluded to. We sell to private organizations on a per head basis. So if you've got 1,000 people in an organization, we have a tiered pricing model. So it's free in certain circumstances when you're going to create a subscription cohort or a subscription community. It's a paid environment if it's more of a private thing for a company. And then we do give it away to nonprofits. Does that answer your question?
It's halfway. I was hoping that Daniel was still with us.
I see
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. So Daniel, I guess I'd be interested to know how you would see this being used. You know, if you see like an application for it within the Athens in Motion ambit.
Yeah, you know, I think like I can't directly think of anything right now. I mean, education, like bike education, how to like bike safely, like those are things that could be helpful. But I know, I mean, as far as like from a staff standpoint goes, I know that we can't really do much of anything until we get our community engagement specialist, which the funding for that starts in April. And we're kind of just told to be on you know, on hold with any new types of community engagement ideas until then. So, but as far as like, if this was something that Athens in Motion wanted to do, then that wouldn't necessarily apply to you guys, but I just wouldn't really be involved with it much at all. I know, like Donna, did you have ideas about after kind of reading through the plan, was there anything that popped out to you that you felt like could be
On the with community engagement, which is how we're designed. So on your in your master plan, you had three things that y'all wanted to do as far as engagement through education. One was reaching out to the community at large for cyclist, motorist, and pedestrian. And the number two thing was to reach out to bike education for the K through 12 crowd. And your third goal was to reach out to UGA students. So you could do a pilot program. UGA students, for example, they all have mobile phones, and y'all could set up a private cohort and put the videos in there. And I'm hearing what you're saying, Steve, about videos being expensive to make. And if you're doing high productivity, you are, but if you're doing like anybody, y'all could go out now and do 5 or 6 learnings once you learned how to do it, and you could use it as outreach. And because it is so expensive, you could then update it immediately when the bridge is done, or new information or T-Splot stuff. I mean, so you could use it as an engagement to push out to the community, but you could also do, like Bill was talking about, if you've got a bunch of kids, your K through 12 crowd, have them do a few videos. They could do their own videos. Having kids do videos to teach other kids, they respond to that so well because it's peer-to-peer learning when you can do that. So if there's a little bit of interest, then, you know, I'm happy to take any of y'all to lunch next week or what. I'm local. Bill and Pete are not. But if there's a little bit of interest, I mean, it's a lot of fun. We've got other kids using it, other people that are like the Amy Copeland Foundation, so that people can be educated about trails. And it's inexpensive enough. It is disposable learning. And your content's coming from SME, subject matter experts. So you can give it a try. If you like it, there's a free platform. It's not private, but that's the public stuff. So we can play around with it next week if you want, and just see if there's something that interests you with it.
I think it's a really cool product and platform, and you know, I could see it having a lot of use. I don't know that the Athens in Motion group is at a point where we could start using that effectively. I mean, we can hardly put out a social media message. So adding this level of complexity
understand.
is making my brain hurt. But I was thinking that maybe the SPLOST office could incorporate something like this in their public engagement practices.
One of the
Now
biggest
that you've seen it, if you see people that you think, I mean, like I said, I'm local. And so we do, you know, we're a B Corp, if y'all are familiar with that. So we do have, for, like Pete said, deserving private enterprise, not private enterprise. What is it, Pete? Did they leave?
No, I'm still here.
Thank you. I can't think of the word. Nonprofits. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I'm local. I would love to work with you guys. This is a real soft pedal. So whatever works for you guys, we're here.
Well,
Absolutely.
we appreciate y'all sharing this. You know, it's pretty exciting. I'm not sure that we could really use it effectively right now, but
Well, just like Donna said, think about it. If it makes sense for you guys at any point, we can always happy to come back and help. And if you know of other people in Athens and a bigger community that might find value in it, I'm whatever, an hour and 15 minutes away, and Donna's there. So happy to come over and meet anytime. I'll make any excuse to get over to Athens.
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Real
Yeah,
quick,
thanks so much for your time.
if somebody wanted to look at it on their own time, they could start an account for free and log in and mess around with the public stuff.
Absolutely.
100%. It's just download the app. We're on both app stores today. You download, you create a user ID, and there's no ads even. It's free, and they can get the full experience. They can even create learnings if they want. Create learnings and put them in the public feed. So
What's the link, the web link for that?
I can.
So you go, so for the application itself, and I just chatted it, you can just type in learny.app is the web version of the app, and you can use your phone number or email address or Google or whatever to actually create an account rapidly. And then Pete just put in the main website to our company website, which is mylearny.com.
And if you go to the mylearning.com, there's a pointer to both app stores.
Yeah.
You just go, if you're an Apple, you point on the Apple. If you're Google or Android, you click on that one and it'll take you to the right app store.
The web version won't be the same experience. I mean, it never will be, but the app is really much cleaner. But yeah, you can still see all the content on the web browser as well.
And if y'all go to the public site, I have one waiting for you. It's called Athens in Motion. It's just one I did in like 3 minutes in my lovely office suite, also known as basement. So it's there if y'all go that way.
And that is one comment I would make as a response to Scott's comment. I've been in the video business for 25 years, so I agree with you. Historically, video is hard to create. It's expensive. It's a burden. What we've done is create a very, very simple tool to create simple short form video on your phone in real time. And that, that's the difference between us and I think the kind of work I was doing 5 years ago, even, right? Where, I was we had a high quality, I was working at a company that created video for medical devices. So you can imagine you had to be able to zoom in with high def, you know, medical devices and see all the, if you wanted to see somebody's hip replacement or whatever. But this is not that. This is very, very simple creation. Anyway, we'll let y'all to it. Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Thanks for giving us
Thank
some
you.
space.
Take care.
Bye. I'll see y'all around.
All right.
All right. Next up is tabling events. So we got about 25 more minutes, and yeah, it's kind of close to being on time, almost. So tabling events, we got 10 minutes set aside. I sent you that link, Teresa. I don't know that we both need to have tables there. I don't have enough really stuff to hand out or anything, but this was a kind of Scott, are you familiar with, I think I've forwarded it to you. Are you familiar? Is this something you've done in the past? Over at Tate Center with the bike safety?
Yeah, we're usually there. Probably the last 3 or 4 years going back. I've got a different educational opportunity, so I won't be there this year. But it's basically Tate Center with a whole bunch of bike ped people, sort of trying to promote the Walk for Dogs campaign. If Bike Athens was there, we would probably be fixing bikes for free and handing out safety information, greenway maps, that kind of stuff.
Scott, would you like to give us some stuff, because I can do the event, you know, and I'm happy to put some of your stuff out there.
One of the main things that we do actually have interest in is the flyers for Fix Your Own Bike Night. So if you're there and someone's like, "Oh, I just saw you guys were here. My bike was making this sound, but I couldn't make it in time," we give them our card. We give them the Fix Your Own Bike flyer. That's helpful. They'll probably come either that week or the week after. So I can give you plenty of that stuff.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
I have some of the booklets already for bike safety, as well as like around children, and I've got some armbands from GDOT that light up, and I don't know if you want to, if we have lights that we can give away.
We have lights you can give away.
Cool.
Oh, yes.
Figured you might. And yeah, other than that, we don't have a ton of like swag, but that should be even better than a water bottle with your logo on it. So.
Right.
Oh, you got 2 Teresas in here.
Well, the other one is my other computer, because for some reason on this screen, I can only see some of the people. I couldn't see all of the people, and I could see none of the shared screens. So don't ask me what's wrong with my computers.
Right.
I don't know. Okay. So is it an inside event or an outside event?
Tate Plaza. So you're outside.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Tate Plaza,
Tate Plaza, outside.
right across from the Sanford Stadium.
Okay. So
Turned into a robot.
so we would, yeah, Scott, you sound funny. So would we bring our tent?
It
Question.
may be undercover, but it might be best to bring it just in case. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Would we be out in the sun, you think? I can ask more questions. Okay.
I can't stand in the sun. I just
All
can't do
right.
it.
So bring the tent just in
Okay.
case. Sounds like we'll be in the sun.
All right, but I can't set it up by myself, at least not the first time. So I do need to have somebody there, Daniel.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Well, Teresa, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make it.
Okay, good, super. That's great, Randy.
So I will respond to Amy about that, get word back to her that we are interested, and find out what the next steps are.
Yeah, and find out from her if there is shelter or if we need to bring our own, you know. And
I
if
would
we,
say we should just bring it just in case, because
Okay.
sometimes Scott is nodding.
Okay, we'll
vehemently,
just
so.
bring the things. We'll bring everything. So
Perfect.
this will be our tabling our new and improved tabling dry run.
So then I guess other options for tabling is if you, and I haven't seen the full social engagement plan for Prince Avenue, but to bring it back to that again, we could potentially do some pop-up stuff at along the corridor to get more info out about it, or that kind of thing. And I think we've talked before, but it might be worthwhile for somebody to check with the organizers of Porch Fest to see if there is an opportunity to kind of set up a table, organize some rides, hand out water, that kind of stuff. Some lights. I don't know. I think it goes till 7, so we don't really, nobody will need lights at the event, but
What's the date of that? Do you know?
that's October 2nd, 1 to 7.
Okay, 1 to 7 p.m. So Scott, are you interested in doing rides that day?
Porch Fest?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
I've
to
never
just
actually
like,
attended Porch Fest before.
Because I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know where all the porches are, but hopefully they're all in a bikeable-ish
They're all
area.
in like Boulevard.
Boulevard. Okay, well that's good. Boulevard's awesome.
yeah, it's a very bikeable area. I went last year and it was just a ton of people walking up and down through the streets. And I was surprised at how few bikes were there. So I think just if we get word out of just like, hey, by the way, like bring your bike. It's a really effective transportation tool.
I can email Tommy.
Yeah, they reached out to us before to have like a fix your own bike night at their their historic Athens fire hall, whatever that is. We never really did that, but there was definitely some interest on their part to have bikes be at Porch Fest. So
Okay, well I'll email Tommy and CC you guys, and
this will be right in the middle of our pilot.
oh, fun! That's great. So yeah, we'll be getting a lot of exposure then. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, we might get a lot of people coming up and talking to us, whether that's good or bad. I mean, all public comment is good in my opinion, but positive or negative in favor of or against the pilot, we'll see.
All right, so Scott, I definitely want to set up a meeting with you just to talk about the questions that people tend to ask you and how we could answer them succinctly, and then also, what we could have at this Porch Fest tabling.
We need to find out if we even could set one up. It might.
Well, that's
just
why I'm gonna email Tommy first.
Yeah,
and
just
he'll
say
get
like,
right back to me.
hey, do you know of any opportunities? I mean, it's like, do we have a table for education, or are we doing more for like, hey, like we'd like to set up a table, have some bottled water for people, talk to them about projects. Because we can do, and honestly, it could even be a pop-up, like Prince Avenue public engagement type of thing. So, and if that's the case, then I'll make sure that I'll bring it up at our meeting tomorrow about Prince Avenue, just to make sure they're aware and see if there's some opportunity there.
Awesome. Okay. So what other tabling events do we see in our crystal ball?
The only other thing is if y'all want to just start doing some farmers markets. I think there's usually more room for it at the Saturday event, but I know there's also one on Wednesday in downtown.
Okay, so there's Saturday. What are the hours?
I believe it's 8 to 12.
And then who do you have to contact to?
I have a market manager. That person has changed since I've had to organize with them.
Okay. And then Wednesday, what are the hours?
Anybody know
5
that one?
to, yeah, I think it's like 5 to 7, 5 to 8, something like that.
Okay.
You want to create your comforts?
Yeah.
Creature, and where is Creature Comforts? Is that, oh, that's downtown, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one is at Bishop.
Yes. Bishop Park.
There's also one at Winterville on Saturdays 2 to or 10 to 2, run by the same person.
Okay, so Winterville, and then that's 10 to 2.
Now for the Athens Farmers Market, which is the first 2 locations, there is I put it in chat, market manager at athensfarmersmarket.net. So
All right.
I
Well,
believe
chat
that's it.
isn't working, so I can't see that. I don't, what is wrong with everything? Let me see if chat on the other screen is working. No, chat is not working for me, so you can email it to me later.
All right.
Sorry about that. So much for upgrading your software. Yeah, I mean, I can't see doing every single
Oh, I wouldn't.
market. I mean, I would just do one a month and, pick your location and time.
Well, and I think, not to continue down this, like constantly bringing up the Prince Avenue, but it is a huge thing that would be a great reason for you to get out. So it might just be that if there's an opportunity for Athens in Motion commissioners to help table and get the word out, that's usually the hardest part, is getting people to, get out and do the tabling. Now I know the user group is very engaged in this and very excited about it, so I'm sure they'll be doing more than enough tabling for everyone. But maybe it could be, rather than bringing your own table for a farmer's market, it's just coming up and showing and helping talk to people about it. So
Yeah.
we'll have
quite a few cyclists at the Creature Comforts Farmers Market on the Wednesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
that bike rack has usually got a few bikes in it at least.
Yeah.
Speaking of bike racks, I was just in Amsterdam, and it is unbelievable how many bicycles there are all over town. They have bike racks everywhere, and they are all oversubscribed. I mean, it's unbelievable. It was actually kind of scary riding around there because people just go really fast. The cars, the bikes, the trams, and they all sort of just miss each other. So it was an interesting experience.
Can't wait to try that one day.
Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do a site visit for work.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think doing the pilot project, doing a table for the pilot project would really be good. So, we don't have to do all these things, I don't think, but we should definitely do something on the Prince Avenue and, the Tate Center. And then try to get in at least, one of the farmers markets before they close down for the winter. If we can do 2 or 3, that'd be awesome. But
Yeah. Also, I haven't heard if Latinx Fest is happening this year. I haven't seen anything about it yet, but I think that would be a good one.
So
And I can follow up on that.
yeah. So, and then I'll go ahead and write to Tommy right as soon as we're done here about Porch Fest.
Are there any other events that people know about? I did take a picture of a chalkboard that had some events on it. Let me see if I have that. There's World Honeybee Day. Sorry. I don't think I don't think Wildwood Revival has tabling opportunities, but Yeah, besides that, I think we've got plenty for the next few months. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, we got 10 more minutes on the agenda. The last thing that's on here is logo updates. Oh, that's me, I guess. Let me see.
But
Um,
do we have any updates on them? I mean,
yep.
awesome.
I gave some feedback. I wasn't able to really get as much. We picked out our favorite ones that y'all wanted to see them develop a little bit more. And then I forgot to get any feedback for those and what you would want to see developed, or if you're just good with where it's at. So, we talked about it at the General Commission, but I got a few comments, I think, from Lauren and you, Teresa. I'm pulling this up. All right. So these are some alternatives. Well, let me get the other groups too. Okay. All right. So sharing my screen. So this is one of the ones that was in the top 3. Were there any comments on how you would like to see this changed in any way, or if this was selected as the logo, is this kind of like you think this is perfect if this is the one that was selected?
I like it if it's the one that's selected. It's not my favorite one, but I'm not going to go to the mat on this. I mean, I think it's a very nice looking logo, and I would be very happy to put it on our materials and our websites, etc.
For some reason, it seems to look better smaller as you zoomed out. The Athens, when you zoomed in, kind of got lost.
It's because it's
Yeah.
Like motion overtakes it.
Yeah. If you're looking at it at this scale.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly not bad, but yeah, I think at a larger size, it's
maybe the Athens just needs a little more weight.
yeah, there you go. I was trying to think what term that was, but yeah, it's weight.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? Cool. So here is this one.
I don't like this one myself, but I don't think I'd go to the mat on this. I might arm wrestle a little bit, but I'd probably lose because, everybody else is bigger than I am.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like that AIM and the circle. As a quick, small.
Cool. Any other comments on it?
So if you were in a roundabout, this has you taking a left.
We went round and round over this, Scott, because
we
which
did.
direction do the bike wheels go? Of course, you're right. On the roundabout, you can go.
Originally, I feel like originally that it was turned the other way, and we were like, oh well, a bike wheel would be going the other way if you're rolling to the right.
I think we've identified a fundamental problem with this particular logo.
Yeah. Things turn in different directions.
Yes.
That we all have too many opinions.
Well, that too.
But that's a valid point.
The last one is this one. And let me exit these other ones. And this one, we have some different alternatives. So this is the updated ones to the right. It changed the font on some, kept the font on others. It used the active wheelchair and not just the typical handicap space.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think some of these also changed the order of it. So like in this one, it's wheelchair, pedestrian, bike, transit, car. But I feel like the vehicles kind of end up being a weird balance. It kind of makes sense that they would be balanced like this, but you know, curious to get thoughts on these 4 options and if any of them speak to you or if you have recommendations.
Well, I kind of like the overall concept, at least with the ones on the left. I would put the pedestrian, the bicycle, and the wheelchair in that order, in the blue, you know, with and then I would switch the car and the bus. So the car is first, the bus is second. And then for the ones on the right, I wonder if we could make a circle out of that somehow. You know, put all that stuff in a circle sort of thing. But I'm not creative enough to know how to do that. But I do like the one that says Athens in motion, and it has each of those little icons for the different types of transportation, because that right there tells the story.
Yeah, I agree. I like the ones on the left have a nice format. The ones on the right almost get a little busy.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
maybe we could use like this one for more kind of descriptive logo, and then the first one with the arrow for a smaller.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh, great minds think alike.
There you go.
So you're thinking like
So the ones being shown now on the left would be your larger format where we need, and then
Teresa, I interpreted you saying that this one with the Athens in motion with the arrow is like would
A
be
sticker. It's like a sticker we can stick on things. And then the bigger one would be kind of like the one that we have now with all the swirly writing and, you know, all the different little figures transporting themselves.
And then so on the right over here too, we've got so like Athens in motion. This one is the most similar to what we currently have.
Correct.
I'm just gonna put both of them up here so you can see.
Yeah.
So the differences here is like motion is green. So in this one, in is green, and Athens motion, say blue or turn blue, and then the vehicles ended up in the green spots with the 3 more vulnerable users being in blue. And then over here, it kind of creates this like triangle of vulnerable users. The weight is a little thick on the words, but it also means that it's visible. The right ones all feel a little too busy to me to have them stacked.
I agree.
yeah, the top one is I think is the best of
Right. If we kind of
all of them.
reorganize the little circles. So put the pedestrian first in blue, then the car in green, then the bicycle in blue, then the bus in green, then the wheelchair in blue.
So why move the car closer to the first?
We're more likely to encounter a car than a bus.
So you're looking at it in terms of who you're more likely to encounter.
Right. So you got your pedestrians and your cars, your bicycles, your buses, and then your person in a wheelchair.
See, I think in number 2, what we were talking about is ranking them by vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
So your most vulnerable users are on the left and the least vulnerable are on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could look at, like some might look at the left as higher priority than the right, but then that kind of messes with the blue. And
Right.
so,
So I'm putting the car and the bus in the lighter color because
yeah, and that's what we have in that first option.
right. I just don't know that putting the wheelchair first is effective. I think if you switch the wheelchair and the pedestrian, you know, because we read from left to right, people are going to see that and understand it more.
Gotcha. Um, Any other comments? Number 2, text too light. You said you like the text in 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, the in gets, at least on my screen, gets lost completely. I mean, you have to really, really look at it to see the in.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the blue for Athens and motion with the in being green is kind of a nice balance with the way the 3 blue circles surround the green circles.
Okay.
So that's pleasing visually.
So if you
Right,
took
so-
the in from number 3 and substitute it for the in in number 2.
Sorry?
Can you repeat that?
So if you took that green in number 3 and substituted that for the current in number 2, it's just a heavier weight.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, we're trying to narrow it down anyway, so like
Yeah.
I'm hearing that first font is preferred.
Right.
So,
Just
and
move-
that one's
move to
bold
circle
enough,
forward.
right?
Right.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Yep.
So, yeah. So
We
we'll
can
just,
weight the in with, make it a little fatter. I kind of like that font that's in use there. Just make it fatter so it doesn't disappear.
all right, we're a little over on time, so any other final comments? I'll read out what I got. I got on the one that we had over to the left. Let's see if I can pull it up. On this one, Athens could use a little more weight there.
Mm-hmm.
And then over here, can we make a circle out of the icons on the right
Or
somehow?
if there's a way to do it so it's not cluttery,
Yeah, it's just basically cluttered.
Yeah.
And I just said stacked is too busy. And then prefer the text in number 1. Did I miss anything?
Well, the one that you've got highlighted over on the left side, with the arrow, could we use that sort of as our little sticker kind of label, logo thingy, for small things, like when we just need a little something.
I'll mention thoughts on using both ?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, I know we have open discussion on the end of the agenda, but if we don't have anything else on logos, I might just see if anybody has a quick thing to say. If they do, maybe from Mark, you mentioned your thing earlier about the plan for Winterville. Really excited to see that. I think, but is there any other stuff that anybody wants to take a moment to announce before we adjourn?
I think this has been quite a packed and informative meeting, Daniel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank you very much for all of your work to put it together.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back stateside. Sounds like your vacation was very fun.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. I saw my sister's grandson. Oh, he's so precious. So got my baby fix in.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, and it was really fun, doing a little Athens in Motion research project there in Amsterdam. And all this work that we're doing, it can happen and it can be safe. I mean, nobody in Amsterdam wears a helmet and they're just zipping around like mad. They got their kids in these buckets that are on the front of their bicycles.
Perfect.
I don't even know if they're strapped in. They just kind of toss them in and away they go, and they go really fast, and if you don't get out of their way, they'll just crash into you. So you have to get out of their way.
Well, it's amazing what you have when you have a completed network and
It
people use it for transportation.
It is,
You
and
know,
and
it's
I
kind
tell
of
you
almost
this.
like with bikes. I mean, and the way that we look at cars on the road, like cars are like, hey, y'all get out of the way, I got somewhere to be. And I
Right.
feel like it's the same idea over there with, hey, I got somewhere to be on my bike. And that's why they have separated infrastructure
Well, they
between
do,
the
and they
bikes
also
and
have
pedestrians.
merged infrastructure, and the cars have to defer to everyone else.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, the trams, I think, pretty much have the right of way.
The trams, is that like a train
It's
or
like it's kind of like a
streetcar?
streetcar,
Gotcha.
It's got a metal track and it's got a electric wire power source overhead. Um, and
Put
those
that down the
tram
middle of the
systems
print.
are great. They go everywhere. All you do is you just buy a ticket and it's kind of on the honor system.
Mhm.
If you get busted, you pay a whole lot of money, but most people buy a ticket and so it all works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. But anyway, yeah, so I will send an email to Tommy Valentine right now about Porch Fest. And yeah, and I'll try to throw together some minutes for this meeting, but I can't promise that they're going to be any good. But I'll do
Yeah.
the best I
And
can.
if he has some questions that he needs answered from me, just let me know. Or if you got it, and I trust that you can do that. So
All right.
Good.
I appreciate everyone's involvement today, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yay. Thank you,
Very
Daniel.
good.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.